The school hallway was loud that afternoon.
Oh, it's stunning.
Students were
I love
laughing,
it.
talking,
yours.
pushing
Really?
past
Thank
each other
you.
like every other day. But for her, this day would never feel normal again. She walked slowly down the hall, holding her books close to her chest. Her dress was simple, not new, not stylish, just something her mother bought on sale. She kept her head down. She always did. Across the hallway stood him, the rich boy everyone knew. Clean shoes, expensive watch, friends around him like shadows. He laughed loud, like the world belonged to him. His eyes landed on her. He smirked. She felt it before she heard it. That feeling when people look at you like you don't belong. Yo, look at her, one of his friends said, laughing. She tried to walk faster, but it was too late. The rich boy stepped forward, blocking her path. The hallway went quiet. Too quiet. He looked her up and down. Slow, careless, cruel. Then he laughed. If you fit in that dress, he said loudly, I'll go to prom with you. The laughter exploded. It bounced off the lockers. It hit her ears like sharp glass. Her hands started shaking. She wanted to disappear. She wanted the floor to open and swallow her whole. People stared. Some laughed. Some looked away. Nobody spoke for her. Her face burned. Her eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. She stood there for a moment, frozen. The rich boy was still smiling. To him, it was just a joke, just another laugh. But to her, it felt like her heart broke in front of everyone. She pushed past him and ran. She didn't stop until she reached the girls' bathroom. She locked herself in a stall and sat on the floor. The words played again and again in her head. If you fit in that dress. She looked down at the dress now. The same dress she wore because she had no other choice. The same dress her mother said looked just fine. Tears finally fell. She covered her mouth so nobody could hear her cry. At home that evening, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Her mother was tired from work. She smiled and asked, how was school? The girl forced a smile back. Good, she said. She went to her room and closed the door. In front of the mirror, she stood still. She looked at herself. Her body. Her dress. She touched the fabric softly. That boy laughed at you, she whispered. But he doesn't know you. Her reflection stared back at her. Sad. Small. But still standing. She sat on her bed and hugged her knees. Prom posters were already all over school. Big dresses. Bright lights. Happy couples. She knew nobody expected her to be there. And maybe she didn't expect it either. But something changed inside her that night. Not anger. Not hate. Something stronger. Determination. She wiped her tears and stood up again. She looked in the mirror one more time. This is not the end, she said quietly. Outside, the world kept moving. The rich boy went home laughing. His friends forgot the joke by dinner. But she didn't forget. That laugh followed her into the night, into her dreams, into her heart, and somewhere deep inside her, a promise was born. She would not beg for respect. She would earn it. The hallway that embarrassed her, the dress they laughed at, the prom they thought she would never attend. All of it was about to change. They just didn't know it yet. And the boy who laughed the loudest that day, months later, he would be the one standing in shock. The next morning, she woke up before the alarm rang. Her eyes were heavy, not from sleep, but from thinking. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, hearing that laugh again. If you fit in that dress. She closed her eyes tight, but it did not help. At school, everything looked the same. Same lockers, same halls, same noise. But she felt different. She walked in quietly, hoping no one would notice her. But eyes still followed her. Whispers floated through the air. She's the girl. That dress girl. Prom joke. She kept walking. Her heart beat fast, but her face stayed calm. She refused to cry again. Not here. Not today. In class, she tried to focus. The teacher's voice sounded far away. Her notebook stayed empty. She was there, but her mind was somewhere else. At lunch, she sat alone like always. She opened her food slowly. She was not hungry. Across the room, the rich boy laughed with his friends. He didn't even look at her. To him, it was over. Just a joke from yesterday. But for her, yesterday was still alive. When school ended, she walked home alone. The sky was cloudy. The wind was cold. She liked the walk home. It was the only place where she didn't have to pretend. At home, her mother was ironing clothes. Her hands looked tired. Her back looked tired. "Hey baby," her mother said with a soft smile. "How was school?" The girl paused. She wanted to tell her everything. The laugh, the pain, the shame. But she didn't. "It was okay," she said. Her mother nodded, trusting her words. In her room, the girl closed the door and sat on the floor. She pulled the dress from the closet. The same dress. She held it up and looked at it closely. The fabric was thin. The color was plain. "This dress didn't hurt me," she said softly. "People did." She tried on again. She stood in front of the mirror. Turned left. Turned right. The dress still felt tight. Still felt wrong. Her throat burned. She remembered how people laughed. How nobody stopped it. How small she felt. She slowly sat on the bed and covered her face. For a moment, she allowed herself to feel it all. The pain, the fear, the shame. Then something strange happened. She got angry. Not angry at the boy. Not angry at the school. Angry at how small she had been made to feel. She stood up fast. "No," she said out loud. "They don't get to decide who I am." She looked at herself again. Really looked. She saw a girl who helped her mother every day. A girl who never gave up. A girl who survived being laughed at and was still standing. That night, she searched quietly. Simple workouts. Healthy food. Study tips. Nothing fancy. Nothing expensive. Just effort. She made a small promise to herself. Not for prom. Not for revenge. For her. She would change. Slowly. Silently. No announcements. No noise. While others slept, she would work. While others laughed, she would grow. And while they forgot her name, she would build a version of herself they could never forget. She folded the dress carefully and placed it back in the closet. One day, she whispered, "You will fit me, not the other way around." Outside, life went on. The rich boy planned parties. The school planned prom. Nobody noticed the girl making quiet choices in a small room. But those choices were planting something powerful. And soon, very soon, they would all see what pain can create. When it meets determination, change did not come fast. It did not come loud. It came quietly like a secret. Every morning, she woke up before the sun. The house was still asleep. No music, no noise, just her. She put on old shoes and stepped outside. The air was cold. The streets were empty. At first, she could not walk far. Her legs hurt. Her breath felt heavy. But she kept moving. One street, then another. Nobody clapped for her. Nobody noticed. And that was okay. At school, she stayed quiet. No new clothes. No big smiles. People thought she was the same girl. They were wrong. In class, she sat up straight now. She listened. She wrote notes. Her grades started to rise. Slowly. Teachers noticed. Students did not. At lunch, she still sat alone. But she no longer felt lonely. She watched people laugh, argue, show off. She learned. Not from books. From behavior. She saw how fast people judged. How quick they forgot pain they caused. And she promised herself something else. She would never laugh at someone's weakness. Weeks passed. Her body began to change. Not in the mirror first. In her energy, she walked with more confidence. Her shoulders stayed back. Her eyes stayed forward. At home, she helped more. Cooked meals. Cleaned. Studied late. Her mother noticed the tired eyes. "You okay, baby?" she asked one night. The girl smiled. "I'm good," she said. And this time, she meant it. Some nights were hard. Her muscles hurt. Her mind felt tired. Some nights, she wanted to quit. She would sit on her bed, staring at the wall. Then she remembered the hallway. The laugh. The silence. She stood up again. Not to prove anyone wrong. To prove herself right. Month passed like this. No posts. No announcements. No promises to anyone else. Just work. The dress stayed in the closet. She did not try it on anymore. She didn't need to. She already knew something had changed. One afternoon at school, the rich boy passed her in the hall. He did not recognize her. Not really. She looked different. Not just outside. Inside. He looked through her, not at her. And that made her smile. Because she was no longer invisible to herself. Prom posters filled the walls now. Big letters. Bright colors. Prom night, 1 month left. People talked about dresses. Cars. Dates. She listened quietly. That night, she stood in front of the mirror again. Same face. Same girl. But something was stronger. Her eyes. They were steady now. She pulled the dress from the closet. Slowly, she held it up. Her hands did not shake this time. She tried it on. The zipper went up higher than before. Not all the way, but close. She laughed softly. Not a loud laugh. Not a proud laugh. A calm one. "I'm getting there," she said. She did not rush. She did not panic. There was still time. Outside, the rich boy was planning his big entrance. His suit. His ride. He still remembered the jokes sometimes. But it meant nothing to him. He had no idea. No idea that the girl he laughed at was becoming someone new. No idea that his words were the fuel. No idea that prom night would not go the way he imagined. And the girl? She folded the dress and placed it carefully on her bed. Not as a dream, as a promise. She turned off the light and lay down. For the first time in months, she slept peacefully because she knew something powerful. The loudest transformations happen in silence. And soon, silence would turn to shock. Prom day finally came. The school felt different that morning. Louder, brighter, restless. Students walked faster. Girls whispered about dresses. Boys talked about cars and plans. She walked through the hallway quietly. No one noticed anything special about her. And that was fine. All day, she felt the time moving slowly. Every class felt longer than usual. The clock seemed to tease her. Tick, tick, tick. When the final bell rang, the hallway exploded with noise. Everyone rushed out, full of excitement. She walked home alone. At home, the sun was already going down. Golden light filled her room. She closed the door and took a deep breath. Tonight, everything would change. She opened her closet and took out the dress. The same dress. She placed it on the bed carefully. Her hands moved slowly, calmly. No checking, no fear. She took a shower and let the warm water fall over her shoulders. She closed her eyes. The hallway, the laugh, the silence. She let go. When she stepped out, she looked at herself in the mirror. Hair tied neatly, face clean, natural. She picked up the dress and stepped into it. The zipper moved up, smooth, easy, all the way. She stopped. Her breath caught. She stared at the mirror. The dress fit perfectly. She did not scream. She did not jump. She smiled. A soft, quiet smile. "This is for me," she whispered. Her mother knocked on the door. "Baby, you ready?" The girl opened the door. Her mother froze. For a moment, she could not speak. "Oh my God," her mother said softly. "You look beautiful." The girl felt her eyes burn. Not from pain this time. From pride. They hugged. No long speech. No explanation. Just understanding. Outside, cars filled the streets. Music played loudly. Lights flashed. The school gym was unrecognizable. Decorations sparkled. Everyone arrived in groups. The rich boy arrived in a shiny car. Laughter surrounded him. He wore an expensive suit. Confidence walked with him. His friends hyped him up. "Man, tonight's gonna be crazy." He smiled. To him, prom was just another stage. Inside the gym, music played. People danced. Phones were out. Girls turned heads. Boys showed off. The rich boy stepped in, scanning the room, looking for attention. He got it. But then, the doors opened again. The music softened. Not because the DJ stopped it. Because people stopped talking. Heads turned. Whispers began. She walked in slowly. Not rushing. Not hiding. The same dress. But now, it told a different story. She held her shoulders back. Her eyes were calm. People stared. Some gasped. Some did not recognize her at first. "Wait, is that?" The rich boy frowned. Something felt strange. He looked again. His smile faded. His heart skipped. No, it couldn't be. She walked past him. Did not look at him. Did not smile. Did not react. The room felt smaller now. The air felt heavy. The rich boy stood still. The joke. The hallway. The words. They hit him all at once. Hard. And for the first time that night, he felt nervous. Because the girl he laughed at was standing right there. And she looked powerful. The room did not move. For a moment, it felt like time stopped. Music played softly in the background, but no one was really listening. All eyes were on her. She walked forward slowly, step by step. The dress flowed with her movement. Not tight, not loose. Perfect. Whispers filled the air. Is that her? No way. She looks different. Different was not the right word. She looked sure. The rich boy stood frozen near the entrance. His friends were still talking, still laughing, until they noticed his face. "What's wrong, man?" one of them asked. He did not answer. His eyes stayed locked on her. His chest felt tight. The memory hit him hard. The hallway. The laugh. The words he threw like they meant nothing. "If you fit in that dress." Now she was standing there, and the dress fit. Better than anyone expected. She passed groups of students who once ignored her. They stepped aside without thinking. Not out of kindness. Out of respect. She reached the center of the gym and stopped. The lights reflected softly on the floor. She took a deep breath. This moment was not about showing off. It was about standing tall. The rich boy finally moved. Slow steps. Careful steps. His confidence was gone, replaced by confusion. He stood a few feet away from her. Up close, she looked even stronger. Calm eyes. Steady breathing. She did not look nervous. She did not look impressed. She looked free. "Hey," he said. His voice sounded different. Lower. Uncertain. She turned her head and looked at him. Just once. No anger. No ismail. Just awareness. He swallowed. I didn't know it was you at first," he said. She said nothing. The silence between them was loud. People nearby pretended not to listen, but they heard everything. You look really good," he added. The words felt empty. He knew it. She knew it. "I was just joking that day," he said quickly. "You know how it is?" She tilted her head slightly. "A joke?" she asked calmly. Her voice was steady. Clear. "Yes," he said fast. "I didn't mean it like that." She nodded slowly. "I know," she said. That surprised him. "But jokes stay funny," she continued. "Only when everyone is laughing." The rich boy felt his face heat up. His friends shifted behind him. The room felt smaller again. "I worked hard to be here," she said softly. "Not for you. Not for prom." She paused. "For myself." He opened his mouth to speak. She raised her hand gently. "I don't need a date," she said. "I don't need approval." Her words were simple, but they hit hard. The rich boy stepped back slightly. Not because she pushed him, because reality did. She turned away from him, and in that moment, something changed in the room. People clapped. Not loudly, not for drama, but for courage. The rich boy stood there alone. The boy who once laughed. Now quiet. Now watching. She joined the crowd. She laughed with someone. She danced. Not wild. Not showy. Just happy. The rich boy watched her from a distance. Every step she took reminded him of his mistake. He finally understood something he never had before. Words matter, and some words never leave. That night he lost something. Not his pride. Something deeper. His power. Because power does not come from laughing at others. It comes from respect. And respect. She earned it. The night was getting late. Music was louder now. Lights flashed across the gym. People danced like nothing else mattered. But for him, everything felt heavy. The rich boy stood near the wall, watching her from a distance. She laughed with new friends. She moved freely. Not once did she look back at him. That hurt more than anger ever could. He had said sorry before in his life. Plenty of times. But this felt different. This time, the words felt stuck in his chest. He walked outside the gym. Cool air hit his face. He leaned against the wall and looked down. For the first time, he remembered something small. The way she held her books that day. The way her shoulders dropped after he laughed. He hadn't noticed it before. Now he couldn't forget it. He took a deep breath and walked back inside. She was standing near the refreshment table, holding a drink, smiling softly. He walked toward her again. Slower this time. Not confident. Careful. She noticed him coming. She did not turn away. She did not smile. She waited. "I owe you an apology," he said. His voice was low, honest. "I hurt you," he continued, "and I can't pretend I didn't." People nearby went quiet. Not because they wanted drama, because they felt the moment. She looked at him, really looked at him. "I know you hurt me," she said calmly. He nodded. "I was stupid," he said. "I thought being funny made me powerful." He stopped and swallowed. "I was wrong." The silence stretched. She thought about the hallway, the bathroom floor, the mirror at night. She thought about the early mornings, the pain, the work. "You don't look like the same person," he said. "I didn't see you then." She answered softly. "That doesn't mean I wasn't there." His chest tightened. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said. "But I had to say it." She nodded slowly. I hear you, she said. That surprised him again. She could have walked away. She could have embarrassed him. But she didn't. Apologies are important, she continued. But so is change. He listened. Don't say sorry to feel better, she said. Say sorry so you do better. He looked down. I will, he said quietly. She believed him. Not because of his words. Because of his eyes. I hope you grow, she said. Then she smiled. Not a soft smile. A peaceful one. And she turned away. No anger. No drama. Just dignity. The rich boy stood there alone again. But something was different. He felt smaller. Not weak. Aware. He watched her dance again. She didn't need him. She never did. That truth stayed with him. Later that night, as people began to leave, he sat in his car alone. The music from inside faded. For the first time, silence felt loud. He stared at the steering wheel. He realized something painful. He had always been seen, always praised, always chosen, and still, he had failed a basic test. Kindness. Meanwhile, she walked out of the gym with her head high. The night air felt warm. Her mother waited in the car. Did you have fun? Her mother asked. She smiled. Yes, she said. And it was true. Not because of prom, but because she faced her past and walked away stronger. The rich boy watched her car leave. He did not wave. He did not chase. He sat there, learning a lesson too late. Some people don't come into your life to stay. They come to teach you who you need to become. And that night, they both learned. The night slowly came to an end. Cars left the school parking lot one by one. Laughter faded. Music stopped. Prom was over. But her journey was not. She sat in the car beside her mother, looking out the window. Streetlights passed by like soft memories. You were glowing tonight, her mother said gently. The girl smiled. I wasn't trying to impress anyone, she replied. I was just being me. Her mother nodded, proud. At home, she hung the dress carefully in the closet. Not like before. Before it was a dream. Now it was a reminder of what pain can build. The next morning, life returned to normal. School, classes, noise. But something had shifted. People smiled at her in the hallways. Some spoke to her for the first time. She returned the smiles. Not because she needed them, because she had peace. She focused on her future. College forms, plans, goals. She no longer feared mirrors. She no longer feared rooms full of people. She had faced worse. Across the school, the rich boy had changed too. He sat quieter in class. He listened more. He laughed less and thought more. When he saw her in the hallway, he nodded respectfully. She nodded back. Nothing more. Some lessons don't need words. Graduation came. Caps in the air. Families cheering. She walked across the stage with confidence. Her mother cried. The rich boy clapped. Not loudly, but honestly. After graduation, life separated them. Different paths. Different worlds. Years passed. She built a life she was proud of. Not perfect, but real. She helped others the way she once needed help. She never laughed at someone's pain, because she remembered. One day, she stood in front of a mirror again, not checking a dress, checking her strength. She smiled. Somewhere else, the rich boy told the story too. Not as a joke, as a lesson. He warned others to choose their words carefully, because one moment of cruelty can follow someone forever, and one moment of courage can change everything. The hallway where she was laughed at no longer mattered. The dress no longer mattered. What mattered was this. She never begged for respect. She built it. Slowly, silently, strongly, and the world had no choice but to notice. Final message. Never laugh at someone's struggle. You never know the strength they are building in silence. Because the people you overlook today may be the ones you admire tomorrow. And the loudest success? It doesn't shout. It walks in calmly and leaves everyone in shock.